With the release of Street Fighter 6, what better time to talk about Street Fighter? Welcome to Gaming 10. This will be the top 10 most iconic characters in the series. This is the fighting game that most fighters in the 90s wanted to be. For this list, we will be taking a look at how popular the characters are, as well as the impact they have had over the years, with a little of my personal opinion. This will probably be the most accurate list you'll ever see, so enjoy our list. Starting at number 10, VEGA. This cage fighter is one of Street Fighter's popular villains in the series. VEGA was one of the most unique characters introduced in Street Fighter 2. With his acrobatic fighting style able to flip and climb around on the stage, one of the first characters in fighting games to do so. So when you see games like Injustice or Mortal Kombat with stage interactions, know that VEGA did it first. VEGA was the only character in the game using a weapon at the time of his debut, making him stand out alongside the other characters in the series, usually playing an antagonist to Chun and Cammy since he is a part of Shadaloo. But sadly, VEGA has lost some popularity over the years, due to Capcom not having much use for the character. He seems to be reduced to DLC with not being on the base roster of the newer installments in the series. I feel like Jury is supposed to take his place as a villain, and that's why he doesn't have much use. But VEGA has left his mark on the Street Fighters series. Number 9, SAGAT. This former member of Shadaloo was the antagonist and final boss of the original Street Fighter. Since then, SAGAT has grown into a character loved by many fans. SAGAT is a renowned Muay Thai expert known for his incredible power and height. His giant physique standing at 7'5". This man is so tall, when he crouches he is about the same height as Ryu. He makes most opponents look like his children, with his trademark eye patch, and a scar across his chest makes him look like an intimidating opponent. Sagat's overall style plays similarly to Ryu and Ken. With some differences, his size does give him some advantages, as it provides very good range. But the downside, it can also make him an easy target, but that won't stop SAGAT from making an impact on the Street Fighter series. Number 8, ZANGIEF. This bear-like wrestler has been the staple of grapplers in the Street Fighter series. The Red Cyclone has inspired many fighting games to add a wrestler to their roster. ZANGIEF is a close-range grappler. With devastating throws and powerful moves, ZANGIEF is one of the slowest of all characters in the Street Fighter series. But when he gets in close and you do not know how to deal with him, he will become a nightmare. One of the worst feelings is getting consistently thrown around like a rag doll and not knowing what to do. Despite his intimidating look, covered in scars, and enough hair on his body to put the bears to shame, ZANGIEF is a nice guy. He has been one of the most iconic wrestlers in fighting games. Number 7, BISON, the main villain of the series. This leader of Shadaloo certainly has the presence of a villain, with all white eyes and a creepy big smile. Covered in all red, every good villain has their obsession, and BISON is lust for absolute power and immortality, always searching for a new powerful host, and kidnapping girls, brainwashing them to serve as his bodyguards, calling them dolls. It's questionable, but if that doesn't say evil, I don't know what does. BISON's moveset is complete with teleportation, full screen attacks, everything annoying a fighting game boss could have. Even though BISON is not in the base roster of Street Fighter 6, he will always be remembered as one of the most iconic villains in the series. Number 6, AKUMA. This demon made his debut in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo as a secret character and boss. His first appearance is a memorable one. After meeting certain requirements, AKUMA will interrupt your match and obliterate BISON, who was the original boss, by hitting him with his signature move, the Raging Demon, before challenging the player. This set the stage for AKUMA. It lets the player know they are in for a hard fight and a formidable opponent. AKUMA's fighting style is similar to Ryu, but he can teleport, and fireballs can be used mid-air with a more aggressive playstyle, which fits perfectly with the character's look and design. AKUMA is regarded as one of the most brutal characters in fighting games, but he is not as evil as one might think. Don't get me wrong, the guy is evil. He killed his master and almost his brother, but he does it all for the sake of becoming the most powerful fighter, not world domination. So he's basically evil Goku. AKUMA stands at the top of the villains in the Street Fighter series and will always be a fan favorite. Number 5, GUILE. Every fighting game needs an American hero, and GUILE fits the bill. A part of the United States Air Force, GUILE is seeking to avenge the death of his Air Force buddy Charlie at the hands of BISON. Guile wears his military uniform with blonde hair and a particularly tall flat top. Guile's style revolves around patiently anticipating and counterplaying your opponent. He has strong mix-ups of solid offense and defense. Fighting against a good Guile player will always test your patience, with his signature sonic boom and flash kick. Both moves make it easy for him to play defense and zone the enemy out. If your ground game isn't good, you will be ripping your hair out trying to get in close range. Let's not forget Guile has one of the most iconic quotes in Street Fighter. After beating you, he says, "Go home and be a family man." You can't give any better advice than that. Number 4, Cammy, a clone of M. Bison, and formerly one of his dolls. After breaking free from M. Bison's brainwashing, Cammy was then recruited by the British Secret Services, and she now works for the good guys. Cammy is one of the most popular characters in the Street Fighter series. Cammy is muscular with a fit physique, and her choice of clothing is a leotard. Though it's been changed in Street Fighter 6, they still have her iconic green leotard as an alternate costume. Cammy is a close-range fighter. She doesn't have projectile attacks, so she uses her signature move Spiral Arrow to hurl herself at the enemy, relying on speed and agility. Her strength is to get in close and to destroy her opponent. Cammy has been a long-running character in the Street Fighter series, being one of the top most iconic female characters. I don't think Cammy is going anywhere anytime soon. Number 3, Ken, the pioneer of fighting game rivals. Many fighters have taken inspiration from Ken and his rivalry with Ryu, characters like Soul Bad Guy and Kai from Guilty Gear, or Mortal Kombat with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Of course, those rivalries aren't always on friendly terms, but they are still rivals. Ken's goal is to become stronger by testing himself against many different fighters. Unlike his rival Ryu, Ken has a life with his family. Ken was looked at as a Ryu clone until Capcom started to give him more unique movesets over the years, making his playstyle similar but different with more of an aggressive approach. Revolving around the iconic Shoryuken, Ken is a rushdown character, making him different from his counterpart Ryu. Ken's core design has been his signature red sleeveless kikogi, but this has been changing over the years. Street Fighter V gave him a sporty look, with the top of his gi around his waist. In Street Fighter 6, he looks like your average gas station hobo. Whether he looks like a karate master or a hobo, fans will always be happy to see Ken. Number 2 is Chun-Li. Since her debut, Chun-Li has become a pillar of the series and one of its most popular characters. She is the first ever female playable character to ever appear in a fighting game that gained widespread recognition. Not only that, Chun-Li is one of the most iconic female characters in video game history. She has appeared in every installment since her debut in Street Fighter II: The World Warrior, and several of Capcom's spin-off series. Chun-Li's design is her blue kipao with brown leggings and spiked bracelets, and her thighs show she has never skipped leg day. Chun-Li is living proof that thick thighs save lives, policing the streets and keeping them safe. Chun-Li is a fast character in the Street Fighter series, using multiple rapid attacks, instead of the slow fierce strikes of larger characters like Sagat. With her iconic lightning kick and spinning bird kick, her agility and movements are a favorite amongst players. Chun-Li has been kicking it up in Street Fighters for decades, and we can't see a Street Fighter without her. At our number 1 spot, we have the poster boy himself, Ryu. He has the traditional heart and goal of a fighter, aiming to become the strongest he can be by pushing his limits and challenging many formidable foes in combat. Ryu is the staple character of the series, and since his debut in the original Street Fighter, Ryu has been the inspiration for many fighting game protagonists. With his simple but iconic design, a white karate gi with the sleeves ripped off, and a red headband. Sometimes it is white, but he is mostly known for the red one. Ryu is a well-rounded fighter with an array of punches and kicks and basic special moves. That makes it easy for new players to pick up and play. With his trademark Hadouken, it's a good tool for zoning and keeping the enemies away, and his Shoryuken is a good move to keep enemies out, using it as an anti-air when players try to jump in. Ryu's basic and easy playstyle usually makes him a lower-tier character in the game if asked the pros, but he will always be high-tier when it comes to the Street Fighter icons. That is it for the video. If you enjoyed the list and want to see more, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Comment down below and let me know who is your favorite Street Fighter character. Game on, and I'll see you all in the next video.